welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
This is an experiment in stupidity.
This is the season 1, episode 1.
Yeah. This is a pilot.
A
pilot episode.
I like that. This is a pilot of the Revolution podcast.
Revolution. Yes, the wrestling revolution.
Those for you who don't know,
The hardcore
the
hippie and the
Revolution.
icon.
Right.
Greeko Suave.
And then Keith, who's not part of the Revolution, but
I'm the producer.
He's like gays in the military.
You're not-
He might not be a part of it, but he's willing to
He's
try.
not the producer. I wouldn't say that. You're the bitch.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
we'll go with that.
But in like
I
a
have
good way.
nipples. Can you milk me?
No, but
What?
like in a good
Why would
way.
you
Like
say
he's
that?
he's the bitch in the good way, you know? Like he's like the one that we like. And we're like-
I'm okay with being called the bitch. I'm good with
But
that.
like we look after him, you know, we take care
How
of
would you
him
say?
and stuff.
Are you truly? Let's talk to Kavan O'Reilley because wow, Destruction GQ.
I'm just still trying
You
to
worked
figure
for
out
Demolition so long right now. You actually brought that
I'm,
crap home.
I'm just trying to figure out my comfort zone, brother.
Well,
you know,
you're
we
5
can't
feet
all.
away from me with your
we
legs
can't-
crossed
we
and 7
can't-
layers of clothes on. If you're
we
not
can't-
comfortable,
First of all, we
Yes.
can't all have a nice chair, the best microphone,
couch
a
that
nice,
folds into a
nice headset.
I'm vintage.
You got the perfect setup over there.
Do you want
the
this
mic?
stand?
The mic is at. Shut up, Keith.
Are you all right? So let's do the introductions. This is Keith.
Hi.
This is Kavan O'Reilley.
Kavan O'Reilley.
Kavan O'Reilley. Oi.
Oi.
Then we got current UWE champion Greeko Suave. Right?
Current UWE.
And what is your
current
title in-
ICW heavyweight champion.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was a list.
Current Fuel Pro Wrestling WWE
WW what?
Fuel Pro Wrestling.
Was that a dream that almost came out your face?
Current ICW World Champion, current Fuel Pro Wrestling World Champion, current UWE World Champion, and also the #1 contender for the POW World Championship.
Good grief. I ran out of fingers.
And sponsored athlete by Strong Style brand. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this?
8 years.
Keith, how long have you been doing this?
It'll be 3 in July.
Okay. Any titles yet?
No.
Of course not.
Oh, no, that's cool.
But wait. We introduced Keith O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
Greeko
Kavan.
Suave. and then-
Technically, I'm the Ross Common champion for UCW.
Oh, that's right.
That battle royal, I
Yes,
won.
yes.
That was like
But-
the sixth option to win.
But we do, and also of course we have a good old
timer.
good old timer.
The guy who I believe you said, "Didn't I fall off my dinosaur yesterday?" Was a quote
That was
you
a
said.
joke. That
Okay.
was a joke.
And one of us thought it was funny.
I would like to say legend, a legend in the Midwest.
Legend in his own mind.
To some people,
No, yeah, okay.
Definitely been
I've
around.
been around. Yeah, I've been around the Midwest.
mentor
around the Midwest.
mentor of many,
Yes.
friends of few,
Coach of a few.
sure,
Select few.
best friend of one person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, other people think so too.
Hardcore hippie.
Hardcore hippie, the indie icon.
The
I'm trying to
electric.
get more. Yeah, I'm trying to get more.
More accolades.
Yeah, like Apollo Creed. That's how we came up with that thing for you and Benny. Remember?
Yeah,
The
that-
Apollo.
good shit.
The Apollo intro.
Eric Freedom, ladies and gentlemen.
So Eric Freedom.
Eric
I've been
Freedom.
wrestling since December 1990. I just had my birthday today. And I asked my wife.
Happy
this morning-
30th birthday.
Thank you. Yeah. Turned 44 today. I'm 44.
You look amazing.
I don't look 44.
You
No.
look.
I look 60.
You look like a god.
I look 64.
No, my dad's 64.
You look like a god.
Do I really?
And yeah,
And
Buddha's a god.
Yeah.
Buddha's a god.
Yeah. Well, like I said, who wants a six-pack when you can have a keg? I mean, come on.
That's true.
It is. So let's talk about. All right. So what's the biggest thing, movie-wise? What's entertainment-wise? What's big right now? X-Men, superhero movies are the thing right now, right?
Yeah, and Star Wars.
You're from the what? What's your podcast you do?
Mine?
Yes.
The Fat Irish Nerd podcast.
Fat Irish Nerd. So we do have someone who is kind of in.
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
What are you talking about?
I'm fat and I'm Irish and I'm a nerd. So I figured I'd put it right out on Front Street.
So like,
At least
okay.
he doesn't walk out and call himself Undertaker, and then you see this little fucking potato in a leotard. I mean,
Well, I don't do
at
that.
least he's not. No, I'm not saying you.
Oh.
How many people in the business?
Everybody. The
Because
business.
This is probably what we're going to end up talking about at some point.
Well,
is problems
why did we
with the
start this
wrestling business.
podcast? We started this podcast.
Because we're bored and you drove up from Chicago to spend time with me, spent time with a girl last night, and
Well, we do. Oh, we're gonna bring that up.
why shouldn't we?
Man, but can we? Can we?
Ballot
All right,
for mayor?
before we get in, before we get into this podcast and why
we
we're
don't
doing
know what
it.
we're talking. Okay, yeah. Tell us.
Okay, before we get into this podcast, yes, I did come in last night.
Yes.
Okay.
Technically, you came twice.
Oh, man.
We're going to talk about church and saving souls today, people. Welcome to the revolution.
No, let's not.
No? All right.
Okay, so yeah.
So why are we doing this podcast?
We're doing this podcast because I think, I think we have there's a lot of great podcasts out there right now.
I agree.
Okay.
I don't think this is one of them.
Absolutely not. Not even close. Who's going to even listen to
Not
this?
yet, anyway.
Right, yet.
Who's listening to this?
Every journey has a first step.
So, like, Cole Cabana's podcast is amazing.
Coco Cabana?
Cole Cabana.
Coco Cabana.
That's
I
just
was his first match.
He's entertaining.
He is entertaining.
He's
That's
very
the one
entertaining.
thing.
The things that he does in the ring it's very unique, I believe.
The lollipop.
Well,
Prime
it's
example.
everything he does. It's like it's the perfect example of work smarter, not
If
harder.
he was an actor in Hollywood, who would you compare him to with his gimmick? Would he be the Will Ferrell of wrestling?
I would think so.
I think that's pretty.
I think that's pretty.
I don't think he's the Jim Carrey.
No, but I think Will Ferrell is like that unique style.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but it's just that he's entertaining. You know that he's gonna pop you one way or the other.
Yeah.
So, you might not pop like throughout his whole match, but there might be that one key that brings you in, invests you.
Yeah, and brings you back. No, I'm with you.
You were Doink Freedom.
I was Doink Freedom at his first match.
You were Doink Freedom.
The worst match we had was the second one.
When you were Eric Freedom?
Yes, but there was a whole setup to that which involved Vince McMahon and lawyers. Did I ever tell you that?
No. But hold on, before we get into so this podcast.
So much crap to talk
Okay,
about. People.
so this podcast.
We have like ADOS.
Yes.
Attention deficit.
Apparently,
Shiny.
Apparently, we can't even stay on topic.
Right.
So this is gonna be a great podcast.
Good luck.
But okay, so this podcast
If you have
is
Asperger's, grab your ketchup.
so this podcast is perfect in a sense of we have a 20+ year veteran.
Yeah.
We have I guess, I wouldn't consider myself a veteran.
I wouldn't consider yourself a rookie.
But I mean, like I'm in the perfect in-between stage right now where I'm not a rookie. I wouldn't consider myself like a crafty veteran, but like I'm current. Like
You're in a transition.
yeah, exactly. And then we have the Greenhorn.
Yeah.
You know,
Which he would be, I think we would call him a seasonal veteran.
who's seasonal veteran? Seasonal, because he wrestles like twice a year.
No, and he's been
I'm
around.
just kidding.
So you've been around for 3 years.
Which is cool. So I think it's cool because we're gonna get total different.
It's a neat dynamic.
Yes,
Because
exactly.
you're gonna get me bitching how everything sucks because the way we
Back
used
in
to do
my
it
day.
back in our day. we're
Clothesline
gonna have
was a
you-
finisher.
It was. 1990s. What's my go-to spot? Train wreck and double clothesline into the hot tag. Let's come on. It's the easiest thing out there. Who
I
needs
know
to
how we're
complicate
opening.
things?
I just know how we open every single match when it's a tag match.
It is.
Train wreck.
Train wreck.
Pearl Harbor.
Duck one double. We'll take her home.
Pearl Harbor. Start off hot. Pearl Harbor.
Yeah. Why don't they call that 9/11?
Ooh.
Well, no, seriously.
it should be called
It's
right.
a natural progression, right? Because what were when someone used something that was in their trunks, what was it called back in the day? Keith, you know. What was it called? When someone hit you something with a gimmick, what would they say? They'd call it they used a foreign object.
Yeah, foreign object.
Foreign object.
Sure,
Because
sure.
of the wars in World War I and II, when it's foreign, it's not.
Right,
foreign.
right. And now
It's
it was called
what's it
Pearl
called
Harbor.
now?
It was called a Pearl Harbor.
Well, no. What's that foreign object called now? Or what did it transition into? It transitioned into it's an international object. So if we're gonna go from one step to the other, why can't we go from hey, it's a Pearl Harbor, to make it relative, like hey, it's a 911? Am I upsetting anyone by
No,
that?
I agree with you. I mean,
I'm not saying it should be like stamping in the date book, like we're calling it the 911.
but I agree with you.
Yeah, no, I do too. All right, so continue with your train of thought, sir. Okay, so basically the gist I'm getting is there's three individuals here with 3 different backgrounds and 3 different levels of experience, so it should be interesting at best.
If you grab any knowledge from this, that's great. If
It'll
not,
be to not listen to this podcast.
probably. You know, eventually, this thing's cool. Right now, it's just gonna be us 3. But eventually, we're gonna get some guests on
We'll
here
have,
too.
we'll
different
have
point of
Papa
views.
Smash on.
Papa Smash, I'm
We'll have
sure.
Dakota, that's
Rhino
different.
and stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have people Skype in.
Yeah. Man. man.
What? Who?
I said we get people Skype in. We can go through here and everything.
Oh yeah. So this is just kind of a testing.
The
period
producer,
where
the
we're having
producer
fun.
coming through.
Yes. Well, he's our guy. And we have to thank.
Basically, I'm here because I have the shit.
Right. But
Honestly, no one wants
on
to.
but on a separate note, if we didn't like, I don't care how much stuff you had, if we didn't like you, you wouldn't be over
Yeah,
here.
that's
And we let.
Just drop it off and leave.
Yeah, like thanks, fuck off. Thanks for stopping by. Here's a cookie.
we would have figured it out.
Yeah, we eventually. But no, but I like it. So thank you, Keith, for bringing this stuff over.
No problem.
Putting.
All right, so this is
Especially
the
when he has to go to work.
Revolution podcast.
Yes.
I'm doing the intro again, just so if we need editing purposes.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
This is the Revolution.
So the only one we're
podcast.
missing right now is our lawyer, who he's on retainer right now, so he can't be here. Benny the Book, we wish you all the best in that thing. He's actually defending a guy who put in a script to Disney. Did I tell you about this?
No.
He wrote no. This is he's laughing because rule of thumb, people. And the only reason I say that is we watched Boondock Saints last night, and I love that movie.
Can it be a rule of wrist?
Yes. Anyways, he is defending a person who wrote Disney, and he wrote he wrote a mini series, like about 4, 5, 6 stories that could have turned into a television series or a series of movies. And it was about it was a really unique story, actually. It was about a 15-year-old kid, right, riding around on his bicycle, solving crimes around the neighborhood. Sounds cool, right? Well, Disney had locked it in until they found out the name of the show was going to be called The Pedophiles. so there's a whole suit going on, and he's defending the client. So we wish him the best against the satanic Disney.
We miss you, Benny.
Yes. Get them white slavers. As George Lucas says, so don't sue me.
So, okay. So, Eric, I want to tell us the story.
What's the story?
The story of Eric Freedom. There's a story. Stop
It's gonna be
it.
so boring.
It's not. Just
It's
give us.
boring.
Come on. Just give us the rundown.
So I grew up in Westmont, Illinois, and before. My best friend in the world back in the day was a kid named Chris Antos, which many people in the business know him as Effin Yammer or Ricky Yamamoto. He was my best friend growing up. And Chris was super into the dirt sheets, which we don't really have now, I don't think. There's no torture.
I think it's just
But
all internet now.
Yeah.
But
And it's like kind of like the in thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the marks grab the magazines. The smart marks still grab online dirt sheets. But this is we're going back to late 80s to mid 80s, and he was getting these mailed into him. Like, it was crazy. And that sucker would call me on a school night and read me results. And it's like a 6-7 page thing. And he'd start on the front page and end on the back. Now, sometimes I was sleeping on the other end of the line because he's like, and then in New Mexico, and like, you couldn't take it. But it was neat because he was so into it. He got me into it. The reason I started wrestling, the reason I wanted to get into wrestling is I was at home watching television on my little black and white with bunny ear antennas. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. Hi. We're taking a podcast picture. I'll scoot over. Yay. Take it. That's my good profile. I turned around. But Jimmy the Mouth, Jimmy Hart was doing a interview with Mean Gene Okerlund, and he was wearing this goofy red outfit and elbow pads and knee pads, and he said something about beating. He's like, I could go out there and beat any kid out there. And as a kid, you don't understand the joke of a dude gonna, you can beat up any little kid. But I took offense to that, and I was like, bullshit, I could beat the crap out of that guy. And that's actually what started it. Plus, I took 4 years of keyboard lessons, so I'm really good at playing with my organ, first off. And my piano teacher, her name was Candace Bear. Candy Bear, literally.
Candy Bear.
Candy Bear was her name.
I would like to meet this one. She sounds like a fox.
She graduated
I feel
Downers Grove North with Poffo and Savage.
I feel like you have to be hot if your name is Candy Bear.
Not so much.
Oh.
She had a nice house. That's about it.
Okay. Sounds like a stripper name.
It made her hot. Oh yeah.
Sounds like
Ladies and gentlemen, get your dollars ready. Candy bar and beer coming up.
Yeah, come on.
So, and then by, once I found out and saw her bring out the yearbooks with Poffo and Savage, Savage was my favorite growing up. That was my guy. We'd go to the Rosemont Horizon, now the Allstate Arena, And when Hogan was wrestling Savage back in the day, we'd walk around with the big Macho Madness signing. Everyone would just boo the piss shit out of us. They were not happy because Hogan was the big baby. We didn't care. We loved Savage. But that's what started my descent into the hell of 26 years of professional wrestling. It was just a matter of finding someone to train me. And I ran into the Meddler. Meddler introduced me to Alan Eppenstein from PWA and AWA with Dale Gagner. And he introduced me to illustrious Johnny Stewart, who had some fame in AWA and did some work with WWF back in the day. And that's who trained me. And Hardcore Craig, who's out there, him and I trained, broke in. We actually did backyard wrestling before. There's so many stories. It's crazy.
I love Hardcore Craig.
The Craig is amazing.
Hardcore Craig's probably one of my favorite people.
You should have been, well, and he's amazing, but I saw him beat the crap out of his brother on my lawn once.
Like legit?
Yeah. With boxing gloves.
What?
Because we were all doing backyard wrestling back in the day. Before backyard wrestling did. Yeah, look at your mouth. So, oh no. That's another topic for another day. Things just got really crazy, people. We'll have to do a second part of this because there's some for if you're
Another
okay,
time,
if you're a
another time.
if you're a
Continue.
all right,
No,
let's just say this: if you're a wrestling fan at all, it's kind of a kayfabe thing, but we'll bring it to light later. We're gonna have a shovel and bury
all I have
some
to say
people.
is just amazing right now. But anyways, continue.
So that was it. So we did backyard wrestling. We met Johnny Stewart. We got trained. I got trained. Craig and Johnny would come out to our houses. Craig grew up in Clarendon Hills, which isn't far from Westmont, and he would show up, and we would put 3 mattresses out on the ground and train.
Ow.
Yeah. So we trained.
But
in
you
the
see, that, I
backyard.
think that's so like. I think like.
Well, here's the thing.
Well, here's the thing. Like
$2,400. Let me train you for a couple months in your backyard and then put you in the ring. And then once the match happened, nothing against Johnny. Johnny's a worker. That's what workers do. We work people out of their fucking money.
But I just think that the fact is that like you and Craig like had so much passion for the business and wanted to be pro wrestlers so bad. Where like you guys knew better. Obviously, like you saw these mattresses and were like, okay, obviously this ain't fucking a ring.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
but
because we've been doing that for 3 years.
Right, but at the same time, like you guys wanted to do it so bad, where you're like, all right, fuck it. Like if he's gonna train us on a fucking mattress, then like whatever, we just want to be pro fucking wrestlers. Like who cares?
Absolutely.
You know, and I think that's what makes it different. Because I think if you take a guy who's like, oh yeah, I want to be a pro wrestler,
We were not
just,
prima donnas.
right?
Yeah, at all.
Oh, it looks cool on TV. I want to be famous, and then you showed him like, all right, dude, we're gonna teach you how to bump on these mattresses. He'd probably be like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like that's stupid.
Dude, we wanted to be in the ring so much. He would have if Johnny would have been like, all right, here's the bed of nails. Take a flip bump on it. We would have done it. We wanted to get into business.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. But I think that's different from back then. And like when I started, it was like I think there was a little more like drive where people were like, yeah, we want to be pro wrestler. But I feel like now, like everybody's such a prima donna. Like these new guys
Nowadays,
that start.
people think they want to do professional wrestling. And I believe like 70%. I'll say 70% of the people, they go to a show, they watch on TV, they go, fuck yeah, I want to do that.
Right.
But they really don't know what they want.
No,
it just looks easy.
There's
It's all vague.
There's a lot of new guys that I run into, and it's just like, man, where like, if I tried to do half the things you guys did 8 years ago,
Yeah.
I would have been got the shit kicked out of me.
yeah.
So I can only imagine at your time when you broke in how it was, because I know from your time to my time, obviously there's a big gap.
The boys were not as friendly.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So I'm like, and I thought my time was rough, but back in the day, I'm sure it was 10 times harder. You know, like not taking away from Keith. Like Keith's one of the very few new guys that I actually like and actually does listen and does pay his dues. But like your generation, like you know, there's half those guys you've started training with that are not even around anymore because they were too fucking, you know, they couldn't hang and they couldn't like it just because somebody chopped them too hard. Motherfucker, when I started, shit, Eric, when you started, you know, we get chopped 30 times in one match, and you walk in the back and you say, "Thank you, sir."
Yeah, thank you.
You don't bitch about anything. If you bitched, you fucking get your ass kicked.
Yep. And I've saved many people's lives based on that. So
Yeah, that was like the first thing I did after BCB got a hold of me in a battle royal. They chopped the shit out of me. Afterwards, I walked in the back. I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah, man, because it's called paying your fucking dues, dude.
you're paying respect to those
Absolutely.
that came before you.
And if you fuck up, and you know,
That's a good question. Now we're gonna stay on origins. I like this. I like
Sure.
this topic. Everyone's gonna have some stories, but do you think? All right, here's a question. Do you think just because someone's been in 20 years or 10 years or 15 or 30, they automatically get your respect. Like, you come into a place, you don't know this guy, you know nothing about him.
Okay,
the promoter
so
says, this is Joe Blow, and he's been around 25 years.
So I'm going to answer this question.
I want to hear from Keith first, because I think
Okay,
your
sure.
dynamic's going to be different.
Sure.
And Keith, we love Keith. I just want to say this. I love Keith. And I've known Keith for a little bit of time yet, but I still feel that Keith is the guy in school who would peek over to the guy next door and maybe take a couple answers for the test.
Sure. I mean,
I don't want you to open the door for him.
I love O'Reilly too. Great kisser.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
He is the best kisser in town, his mom told me.
Thanks, Mom.
Love you, Miss O'Reilly.
Yes. Boy.
Oi is one thing.
So you're saying just never met this guy, don't know much about him, but he's been in for 20
The promoter
years.
says this
Keith,
guy's been around
a
25
30-year
years.
vet walks into the locker room. Does he instantly get your respect?
Yes,
And why?
because he's been in 30 years, and that's, I've been in
5 minutes.
exactly. So, I mean, even if he's, probably maybe not the best worker or whatever, he's been around 30 years, he at least has some knowledge, that I could take. Definitely.
What would be your approach to that?
I would just say, hey, sir, my name's Keith. Nice to meet you. Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. I think that's a fair answer. I think that's a respectable answer. What do you think?
I'm like, okay. I'm like scared to answer this question.
Don't be. We're being honest.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Shooting from the hippie tops.
Sure. So like when I first started, I had the same mindset as Keith.
Sure.
Which is and here's the thing. That's the correct mindset to have.
Absolutely.
When you know nothing about the business, you're still trying to learn it. You show respect to everybody. That's just how it is.
Green Kids Lesson 101.
Yes.
Ding.
Just keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
Eyes and ears open, yes, and believe half
Okay.
what you hear and half what you see.
So so when I first started, like that was the absolute mindset. I didn't like. I gave everybody respect, and the other thing is I didn't know anything. I didn't know who they were. I just knew, okay, they've been in longer than me. They have my respect. But obviously when time goes on and I learn more, I get out more, I see different locker rooms, I see different, companies, and I'm in the ring with a lot of different other guys and this, and the opportunities that I've had here and there, you know what I mean? So obviously, you mature in the business and you learn more about yourself in the business and what kind of worker you are.
And about others.
And absolutely, and so the respect, the reason to give somebody respect changes, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I give respect to everybody, but it's because, like, they deserve my respect and not because, like, oh, I've been in the business 30 fucking years.
Right.
Like, if a guy's been in the business 30 fucking years, cool. But if you're a fucking dickhead to me, or you're going to fucking act like you're hot shit and you fucking blow and all this shit, like, and try to tell me that I'm, like, try to put your 2 cents in with me, but you can't even fucking do what you're telling me or something stupid like that, then, like the respect might not be there. You know what I mean? So it's all... It definitely changes. It definitely changes because there's definitely guys that I respected in the beginning when I first started that, have been in the business a lot longer than me. And then after, like, me maturing and turning into my own person and knowing what I know now and stuff like that. And, these guys, like, they have such shitty fucking attitudes about the business because, they're bitter or something like this and whatever. And it's kind of like, fuck you, like...
No,
fuck
absolutely.
you, dude. Like, I'll come shake your hand, but, like, fuck you.
And here's lesson number 2 for green kids. Ding. I have a face for radio, folks. I think that it's also important that no matter how you personally, because personal feelings really shouldn't enter in. So for the new kids, if you do realize that someone's an asshole or whatever, like, don't point it out, okay? I think you should be respectful to their face. I think that's the key, is being respectful to them while they're around. Now, because when you leave that situation, you might have different thoughts, but those are your thoughts. Keep them to yourself. Don't tell your fucking friends about it, because then there'll never be any problems. It's when the word gets out.
Sure.
We're such sensitive cunts that when we are.
Professional wrestling is like high school.
It's
really
worse.
is.
We're a bunch of
It's a
fucking
bunch of guys.
babies.
Well, and I think a lot
And
of
our
people are.
feelings get hooked.
Well, because a lot of guys are insecure in the wrestling business.
90%.
100%,
90% of them.
But you know what? Going back to like the vet
But
thing,
we're
like,
the assholes that get in spandex in front of 500 people. How do we
Sure.
have low self-esteem? Because that's the weird dynamic.
we have low self-esteem when it
Motherfuckers
comes
go
to.
out there in the ring and they own it, right? But then they get to the locker room and like, what do you mean you
Well,
thought
I
it was
think-
bad? You
What I-
just told a
Sure.
story to 700 people that bought your shit, and you're worried that one of the fucking boys that ain't that good.
Well,
didn't
and
care
that's
for
what-
it?
and that's what-
Fucking really.
That's what I think it is. It's that we have low self-esteem amongst each other. Because I think
We look to others for approval.
Well, exactly, because we know that you're going to watch the match differently than a fan's going to watch the match.
Well, sure.
You know what I mean? The
And some
fan's not
people
gonna
just
care.
want to watch
Right.
you so they can tear your shit apart.
100%.
But that doesn't have anything to do with you as a worker. It has to do with you as your person. And once again, that goes all the way back to treat people with respect face to face, and that's
Absolutely.
it while you're winning there. But
My mindset, like I said, my mindset has changed. You know, I've went places. I've been. I would like to say that I've been critiqued by probably the best people to be critiqued by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so like,
all right, I'm gonna put on my steel tip shoes. Start dropping names. Who has critiqued you?
okay, so obviously William Regal has critiqued me, and I think that's the moment where my mindset changed a little bit. Because okay, so I did my first tryout with WWE. Fine, we'll drop names, I guess. I didn't want to, but
Sure, why not?
Eric's giving me the eyes.
That's right.
So my first tryout with WWE.
ratings.
Yes,
We gotta
ratings.
mention names.
Oh my God, this guy's been on WWE. I can't believe it.
Randy Savage is here.
Stop it. Okay. So in my first tryout at WWE, or getting looked at, whatever people want to call it. You know,
Didn't they call you and say, we heard you're the #1 independent worker out there? You're the most seeked after athlete in professional wrestling.
in my mind,
Well, that works.
on paper, I think I was just
Project it.
another indie guy
From
that
your
they needed
Illuminati third eye.
that they needed to fill in a spot.
Okay.
So I went there, and you know, I was nervous. I talked to you about that, Eric.
Yep.
I was very nervous, but going there, and then I remember Monday night, you know, you really didn't get to do anything in the ring. It was just sit around and talk to Regal, which is right there is probably
That's enough.
the best thing. You know, if that's all we did, that would be the greatest thing. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So. And Regal just broke everything down, like psychology, why we do things, what your audience is. Your audience is not trying, you know, the adults. You're not, and this is, mind you, this is the WWE mindset.
Yeah.
So it's a little different than the indie mindset, obviously, because the indie mindset, you're playing to the crowd, you're getting the crowd to react and everything. You know,
Over there, you're playing to the camera.
you're playing to the camera.
Yeah.
The crowd is kind of like the second thing you really want. Everything is focused to the camera.
Which is one of the reasons I think the business is in the shithole that it's in, and we'll go on to that another time.
Sure, but the format for WWE is play to the cameras. There's 3 main cameras that they want you to play to and everything like that, and the audience that you're trying to attract is the younger generation, because they're the ones that are going to bug their parents to, you know, Mom and Dad, buy these tickets, we want to go. Blah,
Yeah, and
blah,
then you
blah.
got them roped in when they
Right,
have
because
kids,
the parents don't care. They don't want to go, but
Right.
if they're kids, obviously they're
If
going to
you'll
do what
shut
their
up for
kids.
3 fucking hours,
Exactly.
I'll take it. Just shut up.
You know, so obviously everything was, you know, what's believable, what's not believable. You know, there's 2 things. There's Forsaken always told me too, and this kind of relates
The
to what,
Southern gentleman, Ricky Reynolds.
name
Reynolds, I love
dropping
you.
hard right now.
Ricky Reynolds, I love
Forsaken,
you.
we miss you.
We do.
So, you know, Forsaken actually always told me this from the beginning of my career, and it was funny that was one of the first things that
Did he ever
told.
pull out his dick in front of you?
Never, but
Really?
the stories he would tell me were amazing.
Okay, I'll tell you about that next.
So, Forsaken, it's what I think is cool about this is that Forsaken, in the beginning of my career, when I first started.
What year?
In 2008.
What made you want to? All right, no, finish your story and then
Okay,
we'll
we'll go back. We'll backtrack. So, because I'm on a roll right now. So, in 2008, when
That's
I
why I
first
keep
met-
interrupting him.
So, in 2008, Forsaken, you know, I met Forsaken, and he would come up to the school and show me a couple things and talk. And I remember one of the biggest things he told me is that there's 2 kinds of bullshit in professional wrestling.
There's
Believable bullshit
And bullshit
bullshit.
bullshit.
What are you
that's-
trying to sell? Believable bullshit. So I'm like, man, yeah, he's right. So and Keith, you know, when I come up and do seminars with you guys or help train, that's
Like
one
we're
of
gonna do tomorrow.
that's one of the things that I tell you guys. The same fucking thing.
Eric Freedom's Electing
Right.
Company Pro Wrestling Training in Cadillac, 231-775-5356.
What was cool about this is that Forsaken told me about this in 2008, right? Now we're fast forwarding. I'm at WWE. I think it was around 2012 was when I went to WWE.
Okay.
And I'm sitting with William Regal, and he's literally preaching the same fucking thing. Okay?
Sounds familiar.
Bullshit, believable bullshit. You know, a little kid's going to watch you in the ring and all this stuff. You guys are going to go through your spit, whatever, boom, boom, boom. You're going to do your thing. And he's going to go home, and he's going to say, I did this. I want to try this. This is what I saw today. And he might put on a fucking wrist lock.
Sure.
Right? And he's going to put it on the way that he saw you do it. Okay, so if you're doing a lazy-ass fucking wrist lock and the kid does that at home to his brother.
Fake, it's stupid.
Oh, it doesn't hurt. Blah, blah, blah. But if you just, and obviously wrestling's an art. It's an illusion. You know what I mean? So if you put on a wrist lock and you give him the illusion that it fucking hurts, right? And then when that kid actually, the kid obviously doesn't know how to work.
Well, that's like flipping the hands on the
Exactly.
the headlock.
So, you know, like the kid doesn't know how to work. He doesn't know that you're not applying pressure, but that's the art. You're making it look like it does. So then when he goes home and he puts that little lock in, and he fucking goes full go because that's what he thinks pro wrestling is. Now it fucking hurts. Oh my
Breaks his
fucking
buddy's
god!
arm, yeah.
Right. Oh my fucking god! This shit's awesome. It's real. Okay. So I remember, like, you know, Regal's telling us all these things, and I'm like, man, this is fucking awesome. Right.
So basically, he's telling you it's the little things that mean a lot.
Absolutely. And then he even tells you, you know, and the one thing that, like, he was talking about selling, okay? And he was talking about guys taking moves and giving moves. He's like, a guy can give you a fucking clothesline. And brother that takes the clothesline does a crazy-ass backflip. And the crowd pops, oh, cool. He's like, well, what is that doing? Is that putting the guy over that gives the clothesline, or is that putting the guy over that takes the clothesline? Because
Right.
every time that guy takes the clothesline, he's doing the flip gimmick, right? He's flipping out of it. He's taking a crazy bump. Cool. Now, what is that doing? What is that showing? Anybody? And everybody, like, sat on their fucking hands, right? They didn't know what to say.
Blank.
The other dudes, yeah. Like deer in headlights.
Yeah.
And I'm like, raise my hand, you know, like, I think I know the answer to this.
Sure.
And Regal's like, yeah. I'm like, it shows that the guy that's taking the move is doing all the fucking work.
Right. You're just putting your
That's-
arm up. He's
that's
killing
it.
himself
He's-
to make you
He's
look
doing
good.
all the fucking work. And he looks at me and he says, that's the first time anybody's ever got that right.
No shit.
He's like, it's just like, if you guys remember, Hogan and Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam. Shawn Michaels wanted to go out there
Ridiculous.
and prove that he was doing all the work in the match. So that's why he was taking all these ridiculous bumps
I think
and
he
selling
got
like
that
$1 million
point
bucks.
over. Yeah.
Right. So like right instantly, I was like, holy fuck! Like I just got over with Regal. Oh my fucking god, this is awesome! Like
Nice.
oh shit! Like it was crazy, right? That like I got over with him, and he
Was
was
that
like,
the day you got over with Road Dogg too, or is that the next day?
no, Road Dogg was there too, and I remembered him. I
Is
just
that
went
when
up
I
to
gave
him.
you the message?
Yeah, yeah.
To get you over?
Yeah.
Tell the story. Because now, if you
Okay.
had you seen Road Dogg on shows?
I saw him prior to this because there was a couple shows he did for POW.
I love Road
a couple
Dogg.
shows he did for you.
And Billy.
And yeah, and you know, so like I've seen them, and it was like when I went there, Road Dogg like I think just got back there and was doing like the agent thing now and everything.
Yeah.
So like I went up to him and I'm like, hey, Road, like I don't know if you remember me, but like, oh, we met, like you did things for Jimmy Blaze, Eric Freedom. He's like, oh yeah, what's up, man? How are you, brother? I'm like, I'm good, man. How are you? I'm like, by the way, Eric says, Bert says hi. And he says, and
he's
just like-
covering that for the.
and he just and he laughs and he's like, Bert's gay. And he just popped. And every time I see him now, it's like, hey, Road Dogg. Bert says hi. Bert's gay. And he just laughs, you know?
It's the best story.
So like Monday was cool. Like we did all that, and I was like, oh man, like I just made this impression. Like this is fucking awesome. Like holy fuck, like I'm over with Regal.
Yeah. Where's the contract?
Right. You know? So like, oh yeah, this is fucking cool. Because mind you, I walked.
Hey, he put me over. Can somebody get Vince down here?
Yeah,
I got a pen.
where's-
The ink needs to dry.
Yeah, I'm ready, you know. So it was cool because I was like, oh man, because mind you, like I was super nervous. Like, okay, so I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like I'm super over, right? Like Regal fucking like
Loves you.
loves me. Like he's talked about psychology, and
Road
I
Dogg
answered.
loves you.
I answered correctly.
Yep.
Like Regal knows that I get it.
Right.
Now Tuesday comes along. Now I'm gonna show him that I get it.
Absolutely.
Right. And it was cool because like I was super nervous. I was like, oh man, like I don't belong here. I'm small. Like what the fuck am I doing here? Nobody's like I ain't gonna get signed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, all right, Regal, like, you two in the ring. Like, and he was cool about it. He let us pick who we got to work with.
Yeah.
So there was one dude there, Marche Rocket, Mr. I think M80, Marche Rocket. Okay, and I knew who Marche was, just because like his name around Chicago, like it was pretty popular.
Sounds like a cherry.
Pretty popular in the
That's
Indies.
maraschino.
So he was pretty popular in the Indies. Like, so I knew him, but I never like formally met him. But because like he was the only guy out of like there was 5 of us, right, that we recognized, or that he was the only one I recognized.
Yes.
So I'm like, hey, bro, like you want to work tomorrow? And like me and Marche talked on Monday, and instantly like became friends, like boys, right? Like we got it and everything like that. So now we're about to work in front of Regal for the first time, right? And this is the first time me and Marche are working, but I just felt like, hey, we're gonna click. It's gonna be simple. So I'm like, I told Marche, I'm like, hey man, like based off the talk yesterday, like I think the biggest thing is just less is more. Let's just tell a fucking good story. Let's get our characters across.
How much time did you have?
We had like 6 minutes.
Okay.
So obviously not a lot of time.
They
but
tell you who is baby, who is heel, and what the finish is?
no, they
No,
let you
just
do.
like- just
You
go.
guys figure out. Regal will tell you. All right, in the first 30 seconds, I want to know who the baby is, who the heel is. If the heel's going, and then the heel better prove to me throughout the match that he's a heel. Like
Okay.
cheap cut off, dirty finish if you're going over, shit like that.
Okay.
Okay, so like basic 101
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what Regal wants.
Yeah.
He don't want to see these flippy floppy shit.
No.
Okay. So I told Marche, I'm like, dude, let's just fucking go out there and let's just work a solid match, tell a fucking story. And we went out there, and mind you,
Was Regal the only one of the boys watching, or were there other people?
There was other guys
What was
watching,
the
too.
stress? What was the?
well, because you go out there and it's
Is the first thing you
okay.
think like I'm gonna wow these people, but then you understand like
No.
Regal told you
No.
one thing, even though your instincts to do
you
another.
go out there and like, okay, so like there's certain rules in WWE when you go there for your matches, tryout matches too, because they're like, all right, no, like German suplexes, nothing off the top rope, no this, like, because they don't want you getting fucking hurt.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's they kind of limit.
They're protecting you a little.
They're
bit,
protecting you
and themselves.
and limiting some things, but
Yeah.
if you're a true worker or a wrestler, like you can work around that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to go to the top rope to get over it.
Right.
So, like you walk out there and it's just the ring and it's all empty. It's an empty arena. So now-
22?
What's that?
22 foot.
So yeah, 22.
They're TV
foot.
rings?
Yes, TV rings. So because it's on SmackDown taping.
Okay.
So like you walk in there and like it's all empty and shit, and you're just like, all right, you're gonna have to wrestle a match in front of an empty crowd. So there's gonna be no crowd reaction.
Right.
You know there's gonna be none of that shit.
Adrenaline's not gonna be there, except
Not
for
at all
your
because
nervous.
a lot of times you're playing off the fucking crowd,
Right.
especially as a heel.
Right.
And as a baby, it's hard to fire up when nobody's behind you. It's hard to get heat and continue giving heat when nobody's giving you
And
heat
people
back.
are looking at you in a critiquing way. It's hard.
Right.
It's
so
hard
it's
to
like
relax and get into
so
character.
hard, so hard. So like we're sitting there and like Regal's watching, and then like the boys are coming out too now.
Like who?
Like you know, you're just like Mark Henry and like the roster, the Usos and all this shit. I'm like, oh fuck, like now the boys are gonna be watching. Like that's a whole like this is a big thing now, you know?
Yeah.
Because like. All right, none of the boys. Like, I feel like, and I could be fucking wrong, but my mindset is none of the boys are gonna put you over.
No.
Because this is their job.
That's
They don't
their
want their
spot. They don't
yeah,
want someone else that
exactly.
could-
So
has the
nobody's gonna
potential to
put
take
you
it.
over.
No.
You know, they're looking at you like, oh, fuck these guys, right? They're telling you to take my job. And I could be wrong, but that's the way I would think about it, right? So like, I remember like Wade Barrett was the first dude that I met. And he, like, I went up to him, you know, hey, nice to meet you. My name's John. Oh, okay, good to meet you. And, you know, and I thought it was so cool because he was super cool to me.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, man, like, good luck tomorrow. Like, just do what you know. Like,
Sure.
that's the advice I can give you. I'm like, cool, man, thank you. So, like, and like, certain people are cool. And, like, Natalia came up to me, like, Neidhart's daughter. And she's like, hey, are you guys nervous? And I'm like, a little. She's like, it's weird wrestling in front of nobody.
that you're here.
Yeah, right. Hello. Like she would say, she's like, yeah, I know this, like, it sucks doing this. Like, I had to do it too, like, empty crowd. Like, yeah, it's fucking hard. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, just go out there and just do you. And it was
Look
cool.
at the lineage, though.
Right.
You did an empty arena match. Who
Right.
else has done that? Rock and
Sure, but I mean,
Foley.
a lot of people have probably done it now because that's like their
No.
system. I'm
No.
saying no, but I thought it was cool because it's like, all right, like she's a
You're on a very short list.
but she's a contracted wrestler and she still gets because like you keep forgetting like, oh, all these motherfuckers had to do it too.
Yep.
Maybe a handful didn't,
yeah.
but a lot of these guys did.
A handful, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
special
okay,
ones.
right. So like, me and Marche go out there and we just do like your basic like babyface heel match.
Yep.
But our shit was crisp.
Were you the first ones on?
Yeah, first one's on.
Just to get it out. Was it
Just
your
to get
idea?
it out. I was like, told him, I was like, yeah, dude, first one's in the fucking ring. Because I remember, don't remember who told me.
Because you know who they're going to remember?
The first people.
The first and the last.
Well, yeah. So I don't remember who told me, but when they said like, all right, who wants to go first? Somebody's like, jump in the fucking ring. Like, don't wait.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I'm like,
show
all
the
right, yeah,
initiative.
yeah, right. So I'm like, Marche, we gotta get in there. Like as soon as Regal says like, all right, just slide in the ring. So we got in there. We did our fucking thing. Awesome, right? Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Basic match, but like we
You
told
clicked.
we clicked. We told a good fucking story. We were blasting each
Any
other.
flubs?
No,
Nothing at all?
missed
Nothing that
spots.
you look
Everything
back
was
and you go,
fucking nothing. Everything was good, and it was
Timing.
crazy because we fucking worked.
Yeah.
For the first time at this point, like we never worked each other.
And you made a little magic.
And we made some magic, but I think it's just that because we were both cut from the same cloth in a sense, because we
Sure.
were both trained in the Midwest Chicago style, so like the Sam DeCeros and
Yeah.
Jimmy, because like they trained certain people and like, okay, Jimmy went this way, this other person went this way, but they were all both trained the same way, so like
Yeah.
they're both training guys the same way, and it's kind of like,
Which is kind of weird about Chicago. 'Cause
Right.
I grew up in Chicago, but it's true. Like, back in the day, it was, and I'm going to let you keep going. I'm not going to cut you off for too long, but it was WWF, WCW, NWA, and fucking Windy City.
right.
Like, I knew who Windy City was. Like, Windy City was the, like, ROH, I guess, of Chicago, though. It's really weird. And to think that all that lineage, Jimmy Blaze, who runs POW, one of the one companies who I will say, many people will shit on POW, and it might not be their cup of tea, but mostly that's the boys that aren't working there, so whatever. But of all the lineage, you got Jimmy Blaze, who runs 3 shows a month, or did for fucking 9 years. God bless that man. We do a show sometimes once a year, and I stress out. So God bless him for that. But he got that from Sam in that era, who also grew up with Sonny Rogers from that era. Sonny Rogers trained so many people in Chicago. Rick Knight was trained by Sonny. Rick Knight did PCW, who was always doing the Ric Flair comes to this and all the big names. So it's weird how, like DNA, like through you, like me through helping you, you have some of my DNA in you, and
Right.
Keith has, and
It's just
but it's
crazy
just weird
how, like,
how
everybody-
Chicago
yeah.
really it does
Everybody's
come a
cut-
lot from Sam.
Right, it does. But I think, and now it's kind of changing a little bit because
CM
now
Punk
like
used him in a promo.
right, but now it's changing a little bit. I feel like my generation and a little bit after me
Oh,
was
yeah.
like the last people that were like trained like that.
Yeah.
But now like everybody and their mother's training people, so it's
Yeah.
like so different.
With
but, like,
your
back
generation, and unfortunately with Keith's generation, I think the saying goes that there definitely needs to be some chlorine in that wrestling gene pool.
then, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, but all right, sorry.
But
Continue
anyways,
with your thing.
so like we just fucking clicked, and like we just said, like it was because we were cut from the same fucking cloth. You know what I mean? Like we just got it. So we were both we understood each other's styles because like it was the same psychology wise. It was the same fucking shit. We were brought up the same way.
Yeah.
You know. So like awesome fucking match, and then like we get out of the ring, and I'm like, man, that was fucking good. Like we did it, cool. And then like the other guys go, and then like there was one more extra dude. And there was an extra, so we were, there was 5 of us.
So it was an
obviously
odd
there was an
number,
odd
I guess,
number,
yeah.
and Regal points to me, he's like, go. Just go. You're babyface. Because the first match I worked heel. I'm
Okay.
like, okay, cool, no problem. So I go out there, and I wrestle this fucking kid, and bro, was he the drizzling shits.
Sure.
Like, oh my God. And like,
So you went from looking great to looking like
well,
ass.
well, here's the thing, and I'm thinking that while I'm working, I'm like, man, this is fucking kid's, like, this is terrible. And any other situation, I would have just lit this kid up, because he was blowing fucking spots or whatever, but I just kept making it work. Like, I'm talking, like, whatever, like, we got to the comeback, and I'm like, oh, yeah, and I fucking, I'm trying to bump and feed, motherfucker. I hit him with one big clothesline, boom, turn around to go throw another move. He's on the ground just sitting there, like, laying, like, dead on his back.
Feed, motherfucker.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Right.
Pick him up. I said, bump and feed, pop, pop, shoot him up, boom, does it again. A motherfucker. I pick him up, hit him with a move, and I fucking 1, 2, kicked out, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I grabbed him and shoot chicken wing, and I fucking pinned him.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck this.
But I think.
But I kept my cool.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think they're gonna look at it that you tried.
So we get out of the ring. That was it. Regal says, all right, you guys go with Stryker. Matt Stryker was
Yep.
there, and he was the guy that was doing promos. So like Regal would do matches, and Stryker would do promos with all the guys that were there. So, and he points to me and fucking Marche, and he's like, you guys come over here.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like,
You're either in trouble or.
so I'm like, oh fuck, right? He's either gonna tell us
Good job. Or
good
go
job
home.
or think of another career,
Right,
like
right.
that's what I'm thinking. So we go over there and he's like, hey, like you guys did fucking great. I loved your fucking match. Everything was good. Like honestly, like great fucking job. Like loved it. I loved your fucking work. And I'm like, holy fucking shit. Oh my God, this is awesome. Like, where you go fucking, And then he's like, all right, Marche, go over there. And he said, you stay here. And I'm like, oh, this is the talk where you're too small for the business, kid. and
Right.
blah,
We
blah,
just
blah.
don't have a
Like,
spot for you.
right.
Even though you're really good.
like this is you like your shit's good, but maybe you should be a referee or like this is what I'm waiting for, right?
I think you'd make a good referee.
Yeah, maybe. I've never done it. So
Really?
I've never been a ref.
Ever?
Ever? Never been a ref.
Not even paying dues like we need a referee?
In practice, yeah, but like never
But not
like
at a show?
Not ever at a show.
You've
no.
never refed either, have you?
I'm not on the show, no.
Oh, shit. I refed.
So he tells me, he's like, hey, like your first match with Marche was awesome.
See,
I'm like,
I
"Great."
can ref and wrestle.
Because you're the
I'm
IndyIcon.
bilateral. Yeah.
So he's like, your first match with Marche and was up great. Like, I loved it. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cool, man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Like, it means a lot. He's like, your second match, it is what it is. But I did that because I knew it was going to be like that. And I wanted to see how you would react.
Oh, nice.
And you did exactly what I wanted you to do. You kept your cool. You controlled the situation, this and this. And you made it work the best you can. And that's all I can ask. He's like, so, like, that's great. Like, great fucking job. Like, I fucking like you. I really fucking like you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're fucking young. You'll be there one fucking day.
And what year
I'm
was
like,
this? How old were you?
I was, 23. I probably was just turning 23.
Okay.
So, I was probably 23. Yeah, I was 23.
I was there when I was 19.
Yeah.
Not trying to... I'm not trying to one up you. I'm just saying.
Oh, it's all about Eric
But I
Freedom.
had to lie to get there, and
It's
I wasn't that over.
It's all about Eric Freedom, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so when you go past and listen to the podcast, take a stopwatch, and of however long this goes, every time Greeko starts talking, start it. And then when he's done, stop it. If someone else interjects, and I doubt very highly you'll say this is my show today.
Well, you're asking me about this, so I'm just telling you the story.
Because I know you love to talk about
But
you.
no,
That's what I
it's
want to
not.
talk
That's
about.
not even. Oh, you're such a dick. That's not
Sorry,
even
sorry,
what I wanted it
sorry.
to turn into.
I do this to Greeko sometimes, and it's just a thing. It's because I love him.
Okay, so.
Sorry.
Anyway, so we go do the promos with Strike.
Well, we're out of time, Keith. We would have loved to have heard you.
Dick.
Awesome.
Well, the best part about this is we can edit into like 6 different episodes.
Or we could do another one tomorrow.
Okay, so you know, like, and so the match was good, like everything. So now we're going to cut promos, right? And
This is where you threw John Cena out.
no. So we go to Stryker. We're sitting in the stands, and Stryker's cutting promos. We're doing promos with Stryker
You
one
should
on
really talk some shit that never happened, because you'll get over online. I heard it's all about lying and making shit
Sure.
up.
Too bad I'm too humble.
I know.
Anyways, so
You've been taught well.
yes. So everybody's doing their promos with Stryker, blah, 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 and I'm the last one to go with Stryker because I was the last one to get there. So I cut my promos with Stryker. I'm speaking Greek, doing English, this, whatever. He's critiquing me. I'm making the changes as he's critiquing me. All right, do this different. So I'd cut another promo. Oh, and I would listen. And Stryker legit said this. And I don't know if Matt fucking remembers this or remembers who I am. Matt, I'm the Greek kid that you fucking loved.
And still needs a job.
And still needs a fucking job.
Thank you.
But he said, I fucking love it. There's something about you I really like. I wish I can sign you right now.
No
And
shit.
I'm just like, motherfucker, why can't you?
Yeah,
you know,
what's up?
like,
What's
who
up?
do we have to talk to
Just
then?
go in the
Like,
drawer, pull out one of those generic
yeah,
contracts.
who do we
yeah.
got to talk to then, you know?
Look at that room back there that no one's by.
Yeah. I'm like,
Let's seal this.
who do we got to talk to, you know?
You're Greek. We'll go for this, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Is that a Greek thing? I thought it was.
No. Anyways,
What's the green?
so
Taking it in the butt.
everything was cool, man. Everything was really fucking cool. So I got all these positive critiques, which was awesome.
And we got to talk
We
about
go-
Greek Easter.
So
another time.
we go into the fucking production room, and now we're
They don't
cutting.
even have a bunny rabbit.
Now we're cutting promos in the production room in front of 4 different dudes: Stryker, Regal, Brooklyn Brawler, and at the time he was like the head producer for NXT or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cutting the fucking promos. I'm listening to. I remember everything Stryker.
This is
told
after
me.
he already said he loved it, do
Yes.
another one, and then all these other cats walk in.
Right. So now we go into the production room to do this because we were just being trained by Stryker.
Right.
Just so we can get some quick critiques before we went and actually did the like official
The
promos.
actual ones. Okay.
So like I'm doing the promo, remember everything Stryker's told me, and I'm cutting. Okay, you know, and they'll literally be like, you just sit there. Okay, tell me about yourself. Okay, you gotta cut like a 30-second promo about yourself. Blah blah blah. Okay, you're wrestling Alberto Del Rio. You're a babyface. Cut a promo.
Okay.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, you're a heel and you're wrestling this person. Cut a promo. Cut a promo on that wall.
Oh, really?
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, shit like that.
Okay.
And I did everything. Boom. And I remember Stryker's critiques, and Stryker legit like stood up and was like, you know,
No shit.
I'm just proud because like I used to be a teacher. Like that's a shoot. And he's like, and for me as a teacher, giving critiques and telling
see it
you
applied
things,
already.
and then seeing you putting them in here, like just makes me fucking proud.
Right.
Like legit, like I'm just fucking proud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sweet, and like.
You know how many motherfuckers go there and don't listen?
Right. So it's just like now I'm showing that I can fucking work. I'm showing I can cut a promo, and I'm showing I can fucking be taught.
Right. Yeah.
The
You're
three
not- you're
big
not-
things.
Yeah, the brain's not full up yet.
You know, so like, and they just, and everything was just positive and shit, man. And it's just, so it's just, I like to think I'm still on the radar. I get emails here and there, you know, I touch base and Regal.
You're considered open door.
Well, and
To a point.
Regal did say that whenever we're in town, just call, come back,
Yeah.
get looked at again. But his biggest thing was don't feel like you're in a rush to get here. You're still so fucking young.
You're still way under the cutting line.
Go out there.
Get the work,
better,
get the experience, yeah.
get more mature, get this, because you might think you're ready now, but you're not. My biggest fear with you is if we put you down there now, you'll get lost in the shuffle.
Right.
So in a sense, he was looking out for me, and I could appreciate that. But obviously, me being me, well, I want to know.
Yeah.
You know, but it was all cool, man. Like, and so that's like where everything. And I know
And it was
like,
your first experience working for WWE.
first, and then I had like 3 more after that, which were all good.
Yeah.
And then like but now I totally went on a rant there, and I apologize. But
No,
going
it's all good.
back to the vet thing, I went and did that thing, and then like so after that, I went and I would start, and I was training for Jimmy
Yeah.
at this time too. So I went and I started everything. I'm not a selfish guy, so everything that I learned in WWE and everything that they told me, I tried to bring back to Jimmy's school and help teach the younger guys.
Yeah,
This.
pass
Like,
it-
hey
pass
guys,
it
this
on.
is what they're looking for. This is what this is the mindset now that people should start having believability. Like they're really big on that and blah blah blah. And like even the way that you run your ropes, like
Now,
the feet work.
now when you were
footwork.
doing this with Jimmy, were you telling this to everybody?
Everybody, okay, like
See, now
any
that's what I
students.
have issue with. Not issue.
Not
issue.
Not everybody, as in like. I was telling it to my students, people that were coming to train with me.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't telling it to everybody in the locker room.
Yeah.
Telling it to guys that
Because
were.
I believe sometimes the what the truthers will call hidden knowledge.
Sure.
Right, insider knowledge.
Right.
That's not for everybody.
Right.
As selfless as we are, and I think you know the difference of
Right.
who should
And-
get it and who shouldn't.
My biggest thing is I was giving it to the guys that were taking time out of their day,
Yeah.
driving up to the school to come learn from me. So to me, I had that responsibility. I wanted to give them the best knowledge I could.
Sure.
That's it.
No, yeah.
And I remember, and going back to the vet thing about respect. Now, like I remember this distinctively. And it pisses me off still to this day.
Okay.
I was doing it was before the show started. I was at a show, and I was working with some of the guys.
Pow show.
Okay. And I was showing this kid how to run the ropes. It was like a newer kid. I was trying to help him get his
remember who it
footwork. He's not with us anymore. He was one of those guys that quit.
Yeah.
But-
a lot of those.
Yeah, a lot of those. So I remember I was trying to teach him to run the ropes, and I was explaining to him the footwork. And the footwork that I was taught and the footwork that WWE wants is 2 different things.
Sure.
Which is fine. Whatever. But I'm going to do the footwork that WWE wants because that's the goal.
Right.
I'm going to teach what WWE wants because if that's your goal too, then this is what
Might as well
you need
learn
to-
it now.
Might as well
Yeah.
learn now. Footwork's a big thing. This is what they're watching.
Yeah.
Plus, I wouldn't even take it as this is what WWE wants. This is what Regal wants. William Regal, I think, knows his shit.
Yeah, you would think.
So I was showing this kid how to run the ropes, and I remember the one vet, in quotes, comes up and says, "Why the fuck are you teaching him how to run the ropes like that? It's fucking that's wrong."
Sure.
It's not wrong. This is what Regal said. Well, fucking Regal's wrong. Ladies and gentlemen,
You wanna go tell him that?
in professional wrestling, I will be the first one to tell you this. There's not a wrong way to do something. There's many ways to do something. And it's all about preference at the end of the fucking day.
Absolutely.
I will never tell somebody, hey, that's wrong. I will tell somebody, hey, it's okay that you do that, but I think it would
Be
look better
this
if you do
way, or
this, but
safer,
it's up to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's another way to do it.
Yeah.
End of the day. So the
I
fact
work
that
Mexican on my DDTs
Right.
and on my suplexes.
so the fact that he came to the ring
Don't correct me on those, please.
and was
I know.
saying that's wrong
Yeah.
and Regal doesn't know this or Regal doesn't know that,
Yeah.
it was just like, fuck you, dude. I don't care how long you've been in the business now because like you just lost my respect because you're a fucking dickhead.
Okay, I see how you
You
wrap
know what I
that
mean?
up.
Like
yeah.
so like things like
Yeah.
that is what determines, like I guess the respect value now.
That makes sense. That was actually a good way to bring it back around. You're like, he's like the Kevin Smith.
So anyways, yes, that's the story of that.
Holy crap. Cool. I'm just like, that went by really fast. I don't know. How long have we been talking now?
56
An hour?
minutes.
Almost
Wow.
an
An hour.
The Greeko Suave show, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
We just renamed the podcast to the
Yes.
Greeko podcast.
yes. We need 2 thumbs to just point at you. Well, all right, Keith, because this is probably something we're going to be doing a lot. So you being here is awesome, Greeko, because you're like this. You're the part of the revolution, but I don't know how many times we're going to actually get together for these. I'm sure I'll be doing some in between, so that's kind of awesome. We got a chance to.
Well, I'm sure we can just do phone calls.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll Skype and
You can
stuff.
call in and
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like, I think that's what's wrong with the business. I think a lot of people are just closed-minded.
Yeah.
And the
Because
wrestling.
they were taught a certain way, and this is the way
and
it
here's
is.
the thing about the fucking wrestling business,
You gotta
guys.
adapt.
It fucking evolves every fucking day.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to take anything away. Listen, I give total respect to people that help pave the way for the business. Okay. So like, I'm not gonna shit on the fucking 80s. I'm not gonna shit on the 70s attitude. And like, I'm not gonna shit on that shit. Like, I get that that's what made wrestling what it is today.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the shit that worked back then is not the shit that fucking works now.
That's true.
To a certain extent.
And depends on geographic location. But no, you're right.
Yes, I'm saying to a certain extent. Sure. You know, like, does walk and talk work? Yes.
About every 10 years, the business changes.
Right.
Right? Why is that?
It's just because it's evolving. Just like
Well, what happens in 10 years? What happens every 10 years? What happens? Generational change.
Yes.
The generation changes.
It's evolving.
So when you get from the 70s to 80s, 90s, 2000 here, like to where we at now, to where it was then, like now it looks like you're watching, if you were to compare wrestling now to the wrestling back then,
I feel like now
wrestling's like you put in a VHS tape and hit fast forward scan.
Sure.
It just goes by so fast you can't tell what's, and that's what's going on now.
It's
And that
it's
sucks.
a lot more athletic based, I guess.
It's Savage's fault.
Is it?
It has to be.
Randy?
WrestleMania 3, right?
Him and fucking
That's when
Steamboat,
they said
man.
we can do this, and
They went out there
when the business
tore
changed.
It up. One of the best matches ever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To this day.
One of the best matches.
But that's what changed. That's what changed the dynamics. And as much as I love their match, and as much artwork and beauty and holy fucking false finish central and story and emotion and charisma, I love that match because of what it was. But at the same time, like, did you know that it did?
It
but
set
here's
a bar that was very hard to reach.
it still is.
Extremely.
But what changed my opinion about the match was, did you know that match was written down spot for spot on like 8 fucking pieces of notebook paper?
Who wrote that out? Was that Randy?
I think that was.
Or is that
I
Steamboat?
think that was
Both?
I think they worked on it together, but they wanted it to be so good. So here's the thing: when you do shit like that, there's a big risk factor. But with 2 guys like that, they're the ultimate professionals. They pulled it off.
Trivia question for you, though.
But how?
Trivia question.
Well, okay.
Question.
Well, all right. Well, then here's my question to you two, and to the
But
maybe
it's
to the
on the
listening
topic.
audience,
It's on the topic, though.
or to the boys.
What was the best match, though, at WrestleMania 3?
It was Hogan and Andre because they drew the biggest crowd. That was the money of the match. That's a no-brainer. It has to be.
The best match at WrestleMania 3 was Hogan and Andre.
Yeah, because they drew 79 or whatever thousand people.
93,180 or something.
Yeah, but does knowing that match was written down on paper and you have, I don't know how much time to memorize it, and it's hard to memorize a match rather than going, I think we can agree, than kind of ad-libbing what we're doing in the ring instead of going from A to Z. It's a little easier to ad-lib. But does that change how, because we all feel about that match, I assume the same way. You think it's a great match. Whether it's the best one ever, like, that may be debatable, because there are some awesome matches out there independently that are great, and other companies that were great that never get the press they deserve. So do we know that's the greatest match ever? No, but for the ones I've seen, it is. But now, to go back and go, fuck, they memorized that whole thing and just carried it out, and they, and it pulled it off. To me, that it does take a lot of talent to memorize a script, go out there and do it all in one take on fucking pay-per-view.
Right.
Agreed. But to me, it's weird because as passionate as that match was, to know that it was all done like ahead of time, and none of that was, or I'm sure there were some moments in there that was in the moment.
I'm gonna change your mindset on that.
Well, you can, and I'm not. Well, not. Here's the thing. I haven't stated one way or the other if I think it tarnishes that match at all.
Well, here's the reason why.
I'm just saying to put that out there.
Sure.
Does it change? Does it change?
I don't.
Let's listen. Shut up.
Unplug my fucking microphone.
No. You're fine. I just want to hear from Keith for a second. What do you think? Does that change a dynamic for you? Is that something that goes, we can't put that in a Hall of Fame because we prepared a lot for this? It wasn't a chemical thing. What do you think?
I don't think it changes really for me. Because, I mean, like you said, there's still probably, the emotion, some of the emotion they probably didn't still even plan. That still came out of that just by the way the crowd was reacting and stuff like that.
Okay. Thanks, Keith. Now shut up. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, kid.
Okay, so here's the thing. I don't think it changes anything. Right? They memorized the whole thing. They walked and talked the whole thing. At the end of the day, what made that match special is the way that they interacted with the crowd. It's the way the psychology came out, because you can't write down psychology. You can't write down feeling.
No,
they just wrote down their spots. They just said, we're gonna do this arm drag, blah 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 blah. We're gonna do 50 fucking arm drags. We're gonna do all this bullshit, blah blah blah.
If a match is a painting, they sat down and made a Picasso before they went out.
Right, but the emotion that they brought to the match—that's something that, no matter what you say in the back, can only come out when you're out there. That's what makes the difference between a true performer and just, and some other guy. Because you give me that sheet of paper, right, and I can memorize the whole damn thing, and you take somebody else, and I go in the ring with them, we both memorize it, it will not come off the exact same way, because the emotion and the psychology behind it and the drama that they brought to it is what made that match really special.
The drama that they brought to the match during the match?
Yes.
See that? I don't agree. I believe that their work out there was amazing. I think it was beautiful. I don't care if they wrote it down, memorized it, mailed it to each other, faxed it, whatever. I don't believe that changes the dynamic. But now you're saying that the work that they did in there inspired the audience. To a point, I believe that's true. But I don't think that's the whole reason that match got the reaction it was, is because of what they were doing in the ring. I think to have a match like that, it's the fucking build-up. And I think if you wouldn't have had fucking Savage attacking him and hit him with the ring bell and sent him to the hospital and him disappear for 6 fucking months and people were genuinely concerned. It's not like Raw today where you fucking hold on. Shut up. No, hold on.
We're saying the same thing.
We are saying the same thing. But I'm saying I just think you put too much into their match was what it was, and I think because of the reaction from the crowd, you're saying, and I think the reaction from the crowd is they were vested because of the storyline prior.
Right. I'm talking about the psychology that they put into it overall. Because the build-up is all psychology.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't. What they did in the ring, yes, it was amazing and it's great, and that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter if it was planned out step for step.
Right, because
step,
they had all that shit already set in people's minds.
And the psychology
right.
that they had before the match, during the match, everything. Like they couldn't. That's not something that they could have just. Hey, we're gonna do all this shit, and that's the way it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
They that was general. Like that was like we're gonna go out here. Like we have to play off the emotion. So like everywhere from the build up to the match, like that was all the psychology, and that's the beauty of the fucking art behind it. Because nowadays,
but that also goes to show it's not how fast they worked and all the spots that changed the business. It was the whole story. It was the whole book.
It's storytelling,
and I think that's what's missing today from independently. I think WWE should really go back and look at that shit, because I haven't seen anything, nothing, zip zero zilch that have emotionally got me invested in something
Well, the
that
closest
made me go, holy shit. Even though I know it's a work, like, oh my God, they're taking their time with this. This is great because, fucking John Cena will come out on Raw and Brock Lesnar will throw him in a fucking garbage disposal and smash him. And, then we'll cut to Undertaker burying him. But by the end of Raw, John's back fucking beating the ass shit out of somebody again.
But like I think the last time
John Cena.
I think the last I think the last time we saw something like that was like the Shawn Michaels Taker matches. Because
for the matches, but the storyline
But
was
the
still
sto- no,
it was
but the
built in
build-
3 fucking months.
the build-up was still good.
It's
the first match with Michaels.
What's the build up of Mania now? It's Royal Rumble to Mania. That's your storyline.
Right.
That's the WrestleMania fucking
But
shtick.
I'm talking
It's 3
about
months of programming.
I'm talking about like the first Taker match, the first Shawn and Taker. The build-up was awesome.
But what
And
I'm
then the
saying is,
second
why don't
one,
invest
the build-up
people in
was
a
awesome.
year's worth of feud, something that goes on and you can keep hot,
Like
but
Rock
because
and Cena?
people.
That was a year build-up.
That was fucking horrible. I don't remember shit about that feud. Sorry. I'm not saying it's horrible. I take that back because I don't know. I haven't seen it. But I haven't seen it. Right?
Yeah, I definitely agree though. I definitely agree that the build-ups are too short, and it's not enough time for these people to get invested.
And they blame
into
it on the fans having short attention spans.
Well, it's not enough time for people
Is
to
it
get
the
invested.
fans' fault or is it the business's
I don't
fault?
think so.
I think it's a business's fault.
I think that the last Taker and Lesnar match was a great build-up because it literally was a build-up from WrestleMania to SummerSlam.
Didn't see it.
It was a good build-up
Didn't see it.
because Taker disappeared, but every promo
Mania was so disappointing. I'm
But
done.
every promo that Lesnar cut after he beat Taker at Mania,
Yeah.
he always made the mention of
The
I beat Undertaker. I'm the one in 21-1. So for the all the way up until SummerSlam, and then Taker makes his comeback. You know what I mean? And people are like, oh, because they've been hearing
And
it
Taker
now.
went over.
It's already been programmed.
Yeah.
Taker didn't go over. It was a fuck finish.
Oh, okay.
It was all fucked up, and then they did the Hell in a Cell, and then Taker.
Well, okay. Well, here.
Yeah, Taker made him pissed out. Yeah.
That was actually a year. Mm-hmm. It was a year.
But were people invested
Because
in
he-
it that
'cause-
much emotionally,
'cause
like
he wrestled
Savage and
Bray
Steamboat at
Wyatt.
No,
WrestleMania?
because the dynamic has changed so much.
No, it's because you have 3 months or 6 months to
Sure,
build
I
a
agree
shit
with you.
storyline.
I agree
That
with
was
you.
that was over a year of build up because he lost to him at WrestleMania, then Taker won at the next WrestleMania, and then it was that.
Oh,
SummerSlam.
that's right. So they did like a year and a half build up almost.
But that entire year, Paul Heyman was
Yeah.
saying
It was
he's the one.
It was
in
like
21.
programmed in people's heads. So when
And they
Taker
were-
did
they
come
were
back,
chanting it with him.
yeah,
Like-
it got so over
Sure.
that people like when Taker did come back, it was like what?
Sure, they chanted for it because it's like propaganda. You say the same shit over and over and over, and eventually the masses are going to believe it. That's all it is, right? John Cena does the "Can't See Me" for how long until it finally picked up? Because you have to program the people to get it. Programming the people to say you are going to get behind this because we say it so much, and that's still a false fucking emotion. That's still false emotion. If you have to tell people to be invested in it, they're not truly invested in it, and that's a problem with the business. I also think, I don't care what anyone says, I think the only magic that this business fucking had left, because the world championships, let's be honest, they don't mean anything anywhere.
They're starting to
They
now.
maybe.
No.
But okay, well, I haven't
But
seen anything that would
but
lead
I
me to
understand
that
what you're saying because
decision,
there was
but
one.
independently,
Well, because no, I
TNA,
understand what you're saying.
ROH,
Well,
we're all in the same.
I
We're
have a
all
weird,
in the same boat.
I have a weird. Well, here's the thing. I have a weird theory about the world titles everywhere.
well, hold
I
on.
legitly think that the only world title
Flares.
There's only 2 legit world titles currently right now.
And you own
that is-
2 of them?
And there's there's only 2 of them.
And you own them both?
No.
Oh, that's what
I
was
think
waiting
it's
for.
the Ring of Honor world title.
Sure.
And the New Japan Pro Wrestling world title, because those are the only titles that are literally taken around the world
Yeah.
and defended. Like WWE's
It's
world
worse,
title
yeah.
is not defended around the world. It's defended inside WWE.
Right,
They don't take it to New Japan and defend it.
right.
You know, they don't take it to Ring of Honor and defend it. Ring of
Well,
Honor.
should that mean
once
more
they're
'cause it's a
champion
universe?
won it.
What's that?
Yeah, what'd you say?
They took it overseas once, and the champion won it, and they weren't supposed to. Antonio Inoki.
With Ric Flair? No, that wasn't Flair.
No, it was. I think it was Hogan.
Well, now it's an insurance policy. That's why they don't.
Yeah,
then they
but
have
I'm just
a
saying.
match, and then
But
they
if you
got
really if you really break down the world title, like, is the WWE world title really world title, or is it just the WWE title?
just WWE.
It's just the
RP
WWE title.
Right, but well, that's what I'm saying.
That's why I legitly hate when indies call their titles a world title.
Should be a company title.
It should just be called the UWE title,
Yeah.
the POW title,
Yeah.
the FPW title.
Yeah.
That's like when people say, "Oh, this is the POW World Championship."
Right.
Well, motherfucker, don't get defended anywhere outside of Illinois, so I don't know what the fuck you
It's
going to
boxing
POW World.
championship.
So I don't know what you're going to world title for.
Doesn't even leave
Yeah.
the state.
Doesn't even leave anywhere.
No, but okay. But back to my original thought, which I think the only thing that was sacred left in this business was the streak.
100%. Now, do you
It
agree?
meant more than a title.
Do you agree that the streak ended?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it killed the Undertaker.
Yeah.
Same reason why.
So do you think
Same
Undertaker?
reason.
Do you think Taker should have retired with it?
Yes. Because if you have a guy go 22-0, retire, that's a milestone. What does that mean? It means he's the first motherfucker to ever do that.
Absolutely.
Okay? So now you can set some people up for going over that goal. It keeps the dynamic. It keeps the dynamic of we could have in this generation or in this whatever another Undertaker challenge the streak, which means more than anything title-wise. Now you build up a motherfucker and have him start chasing the streak. When's it going to become important? You know, when the guy gets to 15-0, 10-0, people are going to start, because the guy comes out of WrestleMania first time out and goes 1-0. That's the biggest push for a guy in the company. He's 1-0 WrestleMania, 2-0, 3-0, and then they drop it because they're not chasing after the streak. But if you had a guy go 17-0, 18-0, 19-0, the world buzz again is going to be like, holy shit! Like in 3 years, this guy could beat the Taker's thing, and no one ever thought that could be done. So either you leave it untouched.
But can you still do that now?
Absolutely. No.
Why?
Because he got
the bar.
beat.
But the bar is set at still at 21.
But that match, the bar was lowered.
True. But here's my. I guess I don't know. I mean,
I think it ruined the only thing left that professional wrestling had that
That
was
was
be
pure.
considered magic.
true.
That's
I
it.
mean,
And I think they.
Dude, but
I think
here's
they
the thing.
killed it.
Now, if I granted you're saying that you didn't want the streak to end, period. Okay, but if the streak had to end, was Brock Lesnar the right guy to do it?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay, I think believability-wise,
Yeah.
Believability wise, sure.
because
But a
he's
guy
like the
that's
baddest
being paid,
motherfucker.
okay.
But at the same time, too, I would have liked to see.
Someone who was more vested in the wrestling
Well,
business
not even
to
more
take out the
vested.
guy
I would
who's
like to
been
s-
the most vested in
Right.
wrestling.
I would like to see somebody that would have gained more from it, because Brock Lesnar was Brock fucking Lesnar, and he's still fucking Brock Lesnar. Okay, like he's still a fucking hot commodity,
Sure.
to win or lose
Sure.
against Taker at Mania.
Because they tell us he is.
Right, but now if you take a guy that's maybe a mid-carder
Yeah.
and put him in the ring with Taker, and he's the one that beats Taker, now you just built up a whole nother dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel like that could have been used to
you-
really build
you
and
threw
push
it-
another guy.
They threw it away on a part timer.
Sure.
That's how I feel. You threw it away on a part timer, no matter how much money you're giving him.
It's hard because I'm a
you're
big
giving it-
Lesnar fan.
That's fine. And I liked Brock. I don't think there's anything wrong with Brock. I just think the match was terrible. I don't think that's the way they should have done it. And since then, no one cares about anything. Right now, no one
That's
cares
all.
about anything. What do they care about? Nothing.
I do think
The
WWE
streak was the biggest thing.
I do think WWE is making the right steps though by getting rid of
What
two
happened to
world
Bill
titles.
Goldberg when Nash beat him?
No,
Yeah, same thing. History repeats itself.
I do think that they're taking the right steps by.
I think the dude that used to
Pushing other
strip, I think the
guys.
dude was it Phineas Godwin who used to strip down to a fanny pack and underwear.
Yeah, when he was Midian.
How ironic that if he would have beaten the streak,
Right.
because he did streak. Like it's a double positive or something.
I just think like
I'm HIV positive about that.
I think that they're making the right.
Whoa.
I think they're making the right moves. Because
And that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it.
well, here's the thing. I think they're making the right steps because
I
now
don't watch it. I
because
can't- I
well,
really
because
can't
right,
comment.
like because now there's not two world titles anymore. There's just one.
One.
You know, I think the next step is getting rid of Intercontinental and U.S., like making those one titles.
Sure.
I think there's too many belts where not like
And they're passed around every month.
right. So like, what am I chasing for? You know what I mean? Like, what belt means more?
Maybe that's what it's going to be. Maybe it's not going to be, because I think the belts are too far gone out of people's minds that people don't care about it. I don't think you could create a new belt, put prestige in the old belt, combined, unify. I don't think there's shit you could do to make anyone care about any fucking belt out there. I think it's going to be a gimmick. I think it's going to be another streak of some kind or another something. But belts have lost the mystique. They really have. I don't think they're ever going to mean anything again. I think you have to come up with something, a gimmick or a fucking trophy or something that is not a belt to bring people back about something passionate, and that's it.
I think the only thing that is special still in pro wrestling is the Royal Rumble.
I think the Revolution.
The Revolution is real. The Revolution.
Trying to change shiznit.
We're trying to change the business.
Trying to change the wrestling world.
We'll see if it works.
Anyways, thanks for listening to the podcast. This is Eric Freedom for the Revolution podcast signing off.
Peace and love.